Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Weiping Yu.
How can you have two halves of negative charge particle come together? The so-called electron is not a negative charge particle. It's a dipolar magnet. I convinced one. I hope you're going to spread the word. The secret of the universe lies in magnetism, vibration, and frequency.
If the rainbow represents the visible effects of the light spectrum, then what was on the other side of it? We're told by academia that the universe is infinite. But I'm asking you, how can it be infinite when it's made up of finite parts or waveforms? There are ancient whispers passed down from ancient Egypt to Greece to Renaissance faults that suggest that the Platonic solids were in fact derived from this very geometry of breath, the flower of life.
So,
I don't know if there's
what is the muon made of?
Okay, very good question. So in muon theory, muon made of dipolar magnetic particle.
Okay. Terrence, right?
Yes.
Thank you for your dulcet tones, which I enjoyed greatly, were very compelling.
Thank you.
You referred to the almond shape as the Vesica Piscis.
Yes.
And of course, the Vesica Piscis means fish bladder, and an almond shape is quite naturally a fish bladder. However, the almonds are circle intersections, not the geometric Vesica Piscis that was later adopted as the first symbol of the Christianity. So the actual Vesica Piscis has no gaps between it. So why did you choose that particular thing, and why did you refer to it as the Vesica Piscis?
Well, the flower of life often has those petals are called the Vesica Piscis.
No, it's the bigger bits in the middle.
Oh, the bigger
It's the intersection of two circles at their radius.
And that was always referred to me as the Vesica Piscis. I always called them petals. I only referred to them as Vesica Piscis.
Say petals.
Yeah, I only referred to them as Vesica Piscis because I thought that was what everybody else saw them as. But for me, they were always the petals. These are the gaps in between that allows for the compression. That's where the Howard comma actually exists within those gaps.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm going to sort of intersperse questions from the online audience. We've got about 400 and some online people watching.
I can't answer 400 questions. I'm sorry.
No.
All questions must be submitted in writing to my lawyer.
We got just a handful here. So this is for Terry. Mr. Howard, would you and the community test sacred 27 equals 3 cubed in electromagnetic research? I'm getting impossible results. How might this align with your linchpin theory? That's from Nukesh.
Sacred 27 and 3 cubes?
Yeah.
I would have to think about that. The only thing I can come up with is that's 9 times 3, but you typically would have to have 4 sides to something. If 9 is representing a whole being, then you would need 4 sides to it in order for it to become a measurable state. So it would ultimately end up into the 36th place. But 27 and 27 equals that 54. So you're still going to be at the key of A in there. So they're still creating form with the key of A. But it's a little interesting. I don't know. Let me think about that for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, 2 things. So first, I just wanted to let you know that for many, many years, I've been a huge fan of Walter Russell.
Yes.
Whatever you do, don't talk loud into the mic.
Okay.
Talk louder.
So I just wanted to thank you because many physicists have taken credit for his work, and you gave credit for some of your phenomenal work here today to a fine man. Secondly, you had mentioned in an interview that your community would find you.
That I could do what?
That your community would find you.
Yes.
And I just thought this might be a more appropriate location than your doorstep.
Thank you. This is actually one of the first times that I'm in a position where I'm able to speak to people that would actually hear what was being said. I've always spoke about these things on, on the red carpet, to deaf ears and on podcasts, but I was forced to talk about it there because that was the only platform I had. So being invited here, that's why I called it a sacred place, and you guys listen, and you're so tired. But thank you for listening to it, because I just wanted to share these tools.
Okay, another question from online. This is from Maria Gonzalez, and she has a question for Dr. Yu. If electrons, etc., don't exist, why do scientists and engineers around the world still use those constructs?
That's the only available or the most logical available theory in place. I hope from now on, the universe will be much simpler if you use U-on theory of everything.
Okay, and she follows that up by saying, wouldn't that adversely affect their results?
No, everything actually we observed is 100%. This is over 13 years. I have compared with all the evidence, conform 100% with my theory. I have not found one single flaw. I welcome the criticism, if you can find something. Yeah.
Dr. Yu, thank you for your, am I speaking loud enough?
I can hear you.
More there, young sir.
Okay. Dr. Yu, thank you for your presentation. I don't know if I'll be able to ask my question fully. I had a question about slide number 28, where you had the U-on. If you could bring that up, maybe I'll get on the back of the line again. And Terrence, thank you for your presentation. Really appreciate it. Thank you. This is Tesla technology. Some of the presentations, many people here are interested in bringing a zero-point energy device out into public domain usage. So how is your new theory of geometry going to affect, assist, or perhaps speed up the introduction and discovery from people within this group? And did I explain myself? Yes, you did. Okay.
Good question, actually.
Well,
That's you.
Well, the Howard comma acts as that perfect angle that dips directly into the ether. It allows you to have direct communication to the ether and be able to pull that out. We have a number of different papers, and on the screen, I thought for a minute, we had a bunch of our papers that, QR code where you can go to and read all of the papers that we've written on having that 0-point energy. Because remember, the 0 point came as a result from the ether. It doesn't come out of nowhere. And the moment that they got rid of the ether, then it became impossible to have super or heavier energy or more energy than you had before. But with the proper geometry and angles of incidence, now we're able to gather energy because we can predict where the energy will occur. So now we can put nodes there to gather that energy. Whereas before, the Heisenberg uncertainty and Schrodinger, you had no idea. You can put your Feynman's diagram and put 1 million of them together and hope that you're going to get someplace. But now there's no more uncertainty because we can predict where every harmonic node shall occur. And therefore, we got the energy from there.
Slide 28 is up.
Thank you for that answer. I have some further questions with that, but let me go to slide 28.
Or different one.
Yes, no, it's slide 28. So you have charged on the top and you have neutral on the bottom. But both of those diagrams, the charged and the neutral, look like they have a north pole and a south pole. So I'm not seeing what the difference is. And both of them will have directionality to it. So how do you have a positively charged U-on and a negatively charged U-on?
It's a good question. Okay, so I will make it as 2 questions. Number 1, what is a positive charge represented in UR model? So positive charge are north pole. Negative charge are south pole. So you can say in yang and yin, or in
Yin and yang.
yes. You said better than I do, or male or female. Yeah. So this is the first part. Just so what does that represent?
Can I respond to your first?
Sure.
part?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, you said the North Pole is positive?
Oh,
Or negative?
yeah. When I look at the rotation based on the conventional something, actually the positive charge represents the North Pole. Yeah.
Okay, so the positive charge represents the North Pole.
Yes.
But when you're in space, there is no north, south, east, or west. There's no
sure.
direction. So the direction of the North Pole
It's
and the
relative
South
to the
Pole.
particle.
If I look at it upside down, the North Pole now becomes the South Pole. So how
Oh.
could you say the North Pole is plus? If I look at it upside down, if I'm in free space, going out and looking at it, there's no directionality. So that's my confusion.
Well, Walter Russell actually answered that because Walter said that all positive charge, anything headed towards centripetal force, anything headed towards the center was north. That magnetism was always headed south because it was always pushed further away. So anything moving towards contraction is the north. Anything moving towards dispersion of it becomes the south side of it.
But there's no motion here. Everything is still. Nothing's heading any place. I'm
Oh, there's
looking
no
at
such thing
something
as no motion.
Say again?
There's no such thing as no motion. Remember, every element in every particle in the universe is attached to itself. So attached to every other part. So if one part is still, then every part has to be still. There is nothing called stillness in the universe because all things are in motion.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I just want to add one so-called North Pole, South Pole is relative to the particle. Regardless of which motion, which direction look at, you can use with a magnetic meter, right? Test which is north and south. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Live long and prosper.
I hope so.
Okay, another question.
Back from him, laser
I
pointed.
did.
No, he's keeping it.
It'll be good.
I did. I got it. Okay, this is a question from online, from Malibu, Peru, for Terry. With the curve model, wouldn't time repeat itself? And also, could it possibly be linked to create an experience called deja vu, maybe linked to the quantum realm?
Well, one of the things people have to remember is in order for one atom to make any choice, every atom in the universe has to co-sign that motion because every atom will be affected by it. If I put my finger into the ocean, the entire ocean has to register that change of motion and pressure condition. This is one of the things we learned from Walter Russell. Therefore, there's no such thing as being able to go back in time because then you have to move every atom within the entire universe has to go back in order to take one atom back. But because things are cyclical, you can actually go back to the past just by moving to the future because that's what's going to happen. You just have to wait for the universe to get there. But there is no going back or forward. You can't go before something occurs because one of the Walter Russell's biggest thing was every element unfolds into the next one, unwinds into the next one. They're not just elements that's always been there and will be there. No, every single element unwinds into the next element. Every moment unwinds into the next moment. So you just have to be patient. Don't act like Sarah did with Abraham and was like, I know you're the gift, you're going to be the child that's going to bless mankind is going to come through you, but I'm going to force God's hand and here, take Hagar, my wife, my handmaiden, and have a child with her. And by trying to force God's hand, what ended up happening as a result? You got Ishmael and you've got Israel. You got Ishmael and Isaac, and these two brothers have been fighting, and now one is killing the other one. So you have to wait. Be patient. Be patient.
I just want to say that I am so grateful that somebody has got the guts to stand up and speak truth and be able to show with such clarity the reasonableness of your positions. I have been doing experimenting with myself and with things with the magnetism and with the flower of life. I think I had some of it backwards, but I have seen the beauty of it. I've seen the wisdom of it. It makes so much more sense that things are simple. It makes sense that things are north and south, or positive, off and on, positive and negative. It just makes life a lot simpler when you start putting things together. And I just want to tell you, I've been an outcast for many, many years. I have felt the profound loneliness of knowing things that nobody will even listen to. So I praise you guys. And I'm so grateful to be here. It was worth every effort that I put forth to get here. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, another online question for Dr. Yu. What do you make of Don Lorimer's assertion that there is an overlooked east-west axis in magnets?
East, west, that's a good question. So-called the north and the south, because that's have given you the strongest polarity. So that's alignment. The north and the east, if you are talking about the center, somehow the magnetic field is a little bit more called weak, you're neutralized. So actually it still has some field effect. I agree with this gentleman. We were talking about the extreme case on both north and south pole give you the maximum magnetic moment. Good question.
Hi, I'm Lucian Ionescu, and I wrote about Platonic universe. I study Riemann hypothesis. Those zeros must be dual to prime numbers, and find structure constant. So many resonances that I have to ask one question. So the muons having two parts, in some sense, correspond to qubits.
Right.
And then there was a theory by Schwinger, Dion's theory, so it makes quite a lot of sense. And then regarding with Dr. Howard, if we assume, for example, that the universe is finite and constructible with compass only, then we get practically the starting point which you actually used history to motivate it. And then we get Platonic solids as flavor of quarks, the three generations, and much, much more. So do you think such a starting point, the universe is finite and constructible, would be an interesting alternative to derive the theory?
Well, once we are able to confine the universe and once we reintroduce the ether, now we don't need all of those many particles. We don't need the spin particles because we now know that spin happens as a result of action and reaction. And there's only two choices. You can either spin to the left or spin to the right. There's no other choice of motion in the universe. And everything in the universe comes down to how many bubbles are fitting together and under what motion and pressure condition. Are they spinning to the right and contracting, or are they spinning to the left and are becoming more vacuous? It's just that simple. And it all comes down to what happens when four bubbles meet. Because the four bubbles meeting at those 120-degree angles, that's the geometry of the proton. And the proof of it was being able to derive the fine structure constant, Bohr's radius, Euler's number, the Planck length, from just that simple geometry.
Thank you, and very inspiring presentation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for being here. I think you guys have found your tribe.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. My question I want to ask both of you guys is looking at the big picture here. You guys have both, received some flack from the establishment in physics. And I just want to ask you, you've been met with fear, I would say anger, and even calls for censorship. Why?
Oh, my theory actually just go to public relatively new, so I do not feel the huge pressure. But you might from the trailer, a teaser, you see somebody think about I'm harm present misinformation to use, which I strongly think that's not my motivation. My motivation try to share my true understanding and the fundamental law of the universe.
Amen. I mean, and for me, if you're not meeting resistance, then you're dead. And the good side about what I'm doing is I have the proof. I have the geometric proof compared to what they are bringing. They're talking about just forcing indoctrination upon you. But when you have three supersymmetrical systems that's able to predict all distribution of matter, that changes the conversation. You could say whatever you want, but in a couple minutes, your voice is going to be silenced because there's three things that can't be kept hidden in the universe. That's the sun, the moon, and the truth. And we've just experienced the truth because we have the proof behind it. So I welcome the attacks because it makes me stronger.
Question for Terry from online. This is a Lynn Wayne fan. Says, movies have log lines, a summary of the movie short enough to fit into a TV guide listing. So could you give us a log line for your talk?
The log line for my talk is the title of it. New Tools from a Very Old Friend for a New Understanding of the Universe. If we apply those natural tools, we will have a full understanding and not just understand the universe will understand us, and we can manipulate and interact with it with respect.
Hi, my name is Cynthia. And when you spoke about light, there was one form of light that maybe I thought was missing, or maybe it was included. I'm not sure. I'm wondering about Dr. Fritz Popp's discovery in the 50s of biophoton light and what you might have to say about the properties, quality, and behavior of biophoton light in respect with what both of you are discovering and speaking about.
You want to go first or me?
I'm not quite sure. Can you?
No, I am.
You got it? Okay, so I'm going to follow.
Well, you've got to think. If everything is fed by light, and no living thing can eat a dead thing and gain life from it, then light itself would have to be living in order to feed living things. And Walter Russell spoke about that light does not travel. It reproduces itself with each waveform. That's its entire life cycle, from birth to getting mature and having children until it recedes, and then it unfolds into the next one. So there's nothing dead in the universe. So biolight is just every light. We just may not be able to detect its heartbeat, but we truly can by detecting its frequency.
So biophoton light is the low-level light that's emitted by humans in our body. So that's what I was speaking in, very low-level light. But we are beings of light, and what you just described answers it.
There's nothing dead in a living universe. There's no sense of dead. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've got another question from the online community. This is for Terry also. With those loops in basic arithmetic, could you not unlock the universe such as you did, since loops indicate a repetitive nature, hinting toward a circular motion which correlates to your theory, meaning that basic linear arithmetic served its purpose to achieve this theory?
Basic linear arithmetic, like I said, are tutorial steps. Like if you asked a 6-year-old to draw a picture of a house, you expect him to draw it in two-dimensional form. But you ask a 30-year-old, an adult, to draw you a picture of a house, you expect it to have multiple dimensions to it. So, and we know that it's okay to start in the small place. Okay, it's okay to start in a tutorial place, but when it's time to have adult conversations, you know, the gloves come off. And tautological loops, mathematical fallacies that have all of us lost is not the way to go.
My name is Tom Bailey. I give the presentation at 8 a.m. tomorrow on nanocarbons. And I work with fullerenes, especially multi-layered. They call them, they're multi-layered. They're up to 20 to 30 concentric spheres. And what I have noticed, in spite of the fact that there's no nuclear core, it's a total void right in the middle. It's like a form of gravity. The more shells you make on there, it's harder to destroy the onion that was there. Your TGAs, your thermogravimetric analysis, temperatures rise as you put increased shells. So it's a different kind of gravity. But I want to go, and I understand what's going on. The question is with fullerenes, that's what I work with. They call them truncated icosahedron, and I've shown that in my work they're not that at all. They are highly electron delocalized spheres. Every carbon angle, every bonding length is identical. And I wondered what y'all have to say about electron delocalization, because that increases the thermodynamic stability unbelievably.
Electron delocalization. Well, that sounds like discharging electrons.
It's movement of the electrons.
Well, where does the electrons come from? Like they use the term a negatively charged something.
They're all singly unsaturated carbons. So you have a p orbital that's sitting there, and that p orbital in a spherical system has a big outer lobe and a small underlobe, but the underlobe is electron rich and the outer lobe is electron low. And they create an electrostatic interplay so that it takes a temperature of over 2,000 degrees to break up the thing of 20 layers versus 1,700 for the 7 layers.
Well, that's a lot for us to sit up and think about. I think we'd have to have a private conversation to really address.
That's what I wanted. I wanted to initiate some because I think I have some stuff that would be very interesting to you.
Okay. I'd love to talk.
Quickly ask both of you. Both of you are talking about unlocking secrets of the universe, and that would include the nature of consciousness. That would include resonance, these themes that you guys both touch upon. How does your theory inform how you go about propagating the truth that has been revealed to you in this, social dynamic? Because we're human beings made of the same substrate that the universe is made of, right? In that sense.
Yeah, my way is if you truly believe yourself, right? And I'm thinking about it, the best way is I share my truth and to the people who want to listen. And I believe truth itself have legs, can go long distance. I'm not worried about establishment. So actually, I'm really wanted to interact with high school student, college student. I believe they are the most open-minded person.
And for me, consciousness is just an awareness, being aware. So it's one thing to be aware of other things, but to make other things aware of you. When you recognize that in everything that you meet, everything you encounter, that it is made from the same substance as the source, then all things are sacred. And when all things that you view and deal with and you treat as sacred, they recognize that you see them as sacred, and then they treat you as sacred, and then they reveal their knowledge to you. So just treating all things with the same respect and reverence that you do yourself, that you do the creator, that you do the smallest thing, because nothing in existence came from anything except from the origin. And if the origin was perfect, there is no such thing as imperfection. It's just how we view it. So when you view all things as living and all things as sacred, then all things view you as sacred, and then the world becomes a better place.
Okay, question from the online audience for Dr. Yu. This is Idea P. Dish says, does it make sense to say that a photon is a soliton given off when an electron loses momentum? Well, you don't even believe in electrons. And adds momentum to an electron when it absorbs a photon. So does that make sense?
There's no such thing as electrons. It's just discharge, it's just devitalized electricity. It's the same thing. It's just devitalized electricity. It is impossible to have a negatively charged thing, because to charge something means to fill it up. How are you going to have a negatively charged thing? I mean, are you filling it up upside down?
Answer for me.
Hey guys,
5 minutes left, y'all.
thank you for the talks. Really appreciate it. My question is for each of you, and that's what is / have been your inspirations for doing what you're doing?
Did you hear?
Yeah, what's your inspiration for doing what?
Oh, inspiration. For me, I feel like I fulfill my middle school, my childhood dream. At that time, I do not understand how electricity can flow inside a solid wire, and also another one is how could every single atom, you have electrons orbiting the nucleus at the nearest speed of light. That's the moment I started doubted the physics theory, and the third childhood dream is I see the similarity between gravity and Coulomb's law, the form, the mathematical form, identity form. Just say one is the electric charge, the other one is a mass. I thought that they should have some relationship related. Too bad. After I get my PhD, worked for NASA about so many years. I said, I still don't understand. So that's the inspiration. I wanted to have no regrets before I go the last day I'm on Earth. That's inspired me to say, I have to be true to myself. Get rid of everything indoctrinated from the school or from textbook. Be true to yourself. I believe that's a very important motivation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
For me, it was simply, I'm tired of seeing my friends and my family, called the ants, called the grass, called the squirrels, being crushed and killed because man is chasing after this energy, pulling up oil and it's greed for gold. And I figured if I could show man how to actually draw energy directly from the field, then maybe we can get rid of this this exchange, this indirect exchange of currency, and get back to living and become a level, not just a level 1 or a level 2 or level 3 species, but a level 4 species. And now that we've been given the actual alphabet that the creator used to create the universe itself, now we can manipulate and have conversation and have our way with the universe respectfully. Because there's no loss, there's no need for anything being gone away. Now we have an abundance of truth, an abundance of energy.
My last point I want to make real quick and just wrap up with the audience here is for a proposal for both of you. Obviously, you guys have a natural chemistry. I saw it there with the Patrick Bet David appearance. It was kind of lightning in a bottle moment. There's a natural rapport there. I think there's a lot of electricity in this room. A lot of people foregoing eating because they're so fascinated by the ideas shared today. My proposal Would you guys think about doing it old school, the way science used to be demonstrated? It went to the public directly. It didn't go to the gatekeepers and the priestly. The revolution will not be televised, obviously. It'll probably be podcasted a little bit. Yeah. But in the meantime, would you guys consider the idea of taking this show on the road a little bit and interacting? Because there's probably millions of people. I mean, that's a good one. Ready to hear this stuff in a city near you.
This is my dynamic duo. You know, he's Batman and I'm Robin.
It'll be.
Now that we're clear everything's magnetism, are you aligned with the idea that a proton would be a predominantly south pole magnetic particle and an electron would be predominantly north pole?
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you think about it, have you finished your question?
And a neutron would be the balance between them two, or?
Oh, okay.
No?
You know, neutron, just like if they are in parallel, cancel each other. That's the most stable structure because you do not less interact force with other people. So that's why if you look at all the space objects, it's all spherical, right? Spherical, the geometry and the magnetic coupling give you the most stable structure. So that's one of the consequences of the interaction.
Thank you.
All right. So it's my first TeslaTech, and I'm definitely planning on coming back next year. So I found out that you guys actually took my headlining spot, and thank God, because I cannot sell tickets like you guys. So I'll leave my actual questions for our interview tomorrow. But tonight's question is, are you guys planning on coming back here next year?
Yes, indeed. Okay. Yes, indeed. 1 minute.
Hey, Dr. Yu, good to see you again. Terrence, both of you guys gave phenomenal presentations. It was a pleasure to sit there. I had to take a similar approach as you. I had to start from a fresh idea and back it up with evidence in order to prove a point. And the point I proved was something that nobody else thought, but when you back it up, they really can't argue with you anymore. I'm actually hoping I can take some of your concepts into the field with me and back up also what you're saying, because I believe it to be truthful. And I guess the one question I thought of is if what you guys thought of Ed Leedskalnin, who built the Coral Castle in Florida, if you've studied him at all, and his theories on magnetism as well, and the questions he left for us to ask. I spent a lot of time on that. I was wondering if you've looked into that.
I'm pretty certain that what he used was resonance. I'm very certain that, you know, since like Pythagoras said, a rock is nothing but frozen music. And every element has a prime resonant frequency by which it bonds or breaks its bonds. All you have to have is either coherence to attract and decoherence to push away. But the angles of incidence, you don't get there through Cartesian or orthogonal space. You have to go through actual curvature. So with the wave conjugations, with the linchpin and the mirrored all shapes, now we have the true angles of incidence. And I'm sure harmonic levitation will not just become some oddity that you find in science fiction. It's going to become the way of being now.
My answer to your questions, based on the Yuan theory, gravity is just a magnetic effect, right? So the magnetic attraction and the repulsion. So based on the theory, anti-gravity propulsion, and you said the coral castle, how they constructed at that time, resonance create the anti-gravity effect.
Harmonic levitation.
That's a better word.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Who, Terrence, and David, let's have a warm round of applause for everyone. Now, they're not going to be out fellowshipping.